Today's video is about my favorite summer eyeshadow palettes. Eyeshadow is one of my favorite makeup products to use and shop for. And so these are just some of my favorite summer eyeshadow palettes. I love summertime. My favorite looks to wear during the summer are like pink eye looks, shimmer, bronze, just beachy, glowy, just, I don't even know. I love fall makeup, but summer eyeshadow is just like, there's something special, especially because the sun, when it just hits someone's eyeshadow in the most beautiful way, makes their eyes just pop. I love it. So we'll just jump right into my favorite summer eyeshadow palettes. These eyeshadow palettes are in no particular order. They are just the palettes that I love. And I'm going to start with the one I'm wearing on my eyes for this video. So this is the Beauty Bakery Banana Pudding. Proof is in the Pudding eyeshadow palette. It's a beautiful, beautiful warm tone eyeshadow palette. It's definitely orangey. My fiance, she likes to wear more cool tone eyeshadow looks. I prefer warm, but this one is definitely a warm toned eyeshadow palette. And I think it's perfect for summer because you have these beautiful shimmers. Like these are very gold. I am wearing a butterscotch, bread pudding, warm cocoa, rice pudding on my brow bone, a little bit of banana pudding. I mean, the whole palette is just so up my alley. My friend actually got this for me for my birthday because this palette does scream me. Not many people talk about this palette. I think it was in like a FabFitFun fun box a couple years ago. I mean, some people may have this palette. I actually haven't filmed any tutorials using this palette, but I think it's the perfect summer palette. I love it. I kind of forget about it though, but I'm wearing it today and I really love it. So I think this is a perfect summer eyeshadow palette to create those beautiful bronze, warm-toned eye looks. Next is a newer palette. This is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau palette. This palette is stunning. These shades, there's so many pops of colors. There's not any really good transition shades in here. Fleer, which is flower in French, that one can be a transition shade. But other than that, Liberty is not that good of a transition shade for this palette. But as long as you can mix this with, like as long as you have a palette like the Transition palette by Dominique Cosmetics, this palette, like look at all these perfect transition shades. Like, oh my god, I love this palette. This is another one I don't think gets enough hype. But if you like have both of these, the looks are endless. You have all your mattes here and all your shimmer pops of color here, and you can just create so many looks. I mean, yeah, it stinks you have to buy two palettes to do that, but the shades in here are stunning. They're unique. They're Anastasia Beverly Hills formula. They're flawless. They're beautiful. And I love this palette. So this palette has these pink shimmers, Isle and Lili, which are stunning and perfect for summer. And then you have like Liberty, Bella, Hope, which are more fall-like. And then you have Wisteria, which is springy. And then you have this Peacock, which is like a teal blue red shimmer shade. And I think it's a really good summer palette. Like you can create pink looks and the purple and everything. And I have plenty of tutorials using this palette. And I just think, you know, it came out this year during the summer, and I think it's a really good summer palette, especially because the shimmers in here and the bronze, like, perfect. You can make so many really good summer looks with this palette. All right, so next is Too Faced Born This Way Sunset Stroke palette. I love the Too Faced Born This Way original palette. I have so many tutorials using the original Born This Way Too Faced eyeshadow palette. This one is just like that with a little bit of a twist. It's got some warmer colors, has these beautiful maroons. You have a dark, dark black sand shade, and then you have these really warm transition shades. This palette is stunning for summer. Like this is the perfect neutral bronze eyeshadow palette. You have these perfect everyday transition shades and a little bit of these light shimmers and glitter toppers, and then you have these dark, dark, rich, you know, like golden hours, a little pink, chai times, a little bit maroon. You can create these really dramatic looks, and I really love this palette. Again, perfect for summer. Also good for fall, but I don't know, I feel like this is like the perfect bronze summery eyeshadow palette. So, Too Faced Born This Way Sunset Stripped palette. Again, this palette I feel like doesn't get that much hype. There's a few YouTubers who are like, this palette's amazing, it's so good. And then there were some reviews online that were really bashing it, which when I first got the palette, I did not agree with those reviews at all. I thought it was amazing and stunning. Like the mattes are buttery and blendable and the shimmers are blinding. So I was really confused about those horrible reviews I got. But I feel like this needs more hype. I feel like people are over it. Like, how can you be over this palette? It's so good. And just looking at it all over again is making me excited for it. Like, it's a good palette to have because I feel like whenever you like rediscover it, you're just like in love all over again. And it's such a good palette. So highly recommend. Too Faced Born This Way Sunset Stripped. Next, I have the Patrick Ta. This is the Major Dimension palette. This is the perfect everyday neutral eyeshadow palette. You have this gorgeous rose gold packaging, this huge mirror, and it comes with 2 cream eyeshadows, which I actually have never used. I know, people love them, but I've never used them. And then just the perfect everyday transition shades. Again, this is a very warm palette. I prefer warm tone eyeshadows. I use cool tone eyeshadows, but this one, again, screamed me. I definitely like purchased this right away when it first came out. It is on the expensive side. I want to say this is like $68 or something. It's pretty expensive. And you just have like the perfect matte transition shades in here. Beautiful shimmers. It's also a really good bridal palette. But yes, again, this to me screams summer because of the beautiful bronze warm shades. And for me, I just can't get over a beautiful summer bronze eye look. I think they're stunning. They're my favorite. I'm all about it. And this eyeshadow would really help you achieve a beautiful summer bronze eye look, for sure. So the Patrick Ta Major Dimension palette. Next is a much more affordable eyeshadow palette. This is the Going Coconuts by Colourpop. As you can tell, mine is much loved by all the wear and tear of the world. And I also have dropped mine a few times. It comes with this big, beautiful mirror. I've dropped mine a few times and the eyeshadows all came out. I had to put them back in. I don't even think the names match the right shade. The white shimmery shade broke up, so did one of the other shades. This one's falling apart, but I'm telling you, this eyeshadow palette is a must-have. It's so affordable. Colourpop, like, they kill it every time. They're just so good at making super cute, attractive, blendable eyeshadow palettes. Like all of their eyeshadows are just stunning. And I wish when I was younger, like in high school, when I was using those stupid Maybelline single eyeshadows, I just wish I had something like this because something like this would have just been like, it would have made me so happy to have such great affordable eyeshadow. Luckily, everyone nowadays, like it's very easy to find a really good affordable eyeshadow palette, but back in the day, it was just like the pigment wasn't there, the blendability wasn't there, but this eyeshadow palette is super affordable. The neutrals in here are amazing, the shimmers, just everything about this palette, and the fact it's called Going Coconuts is perfect for summer. So I highly recommend this palette. They're usually $12, sometimes $16, and I think they can be on sale for like $9. But yes, I love this palette. Going Coconuts. I keep saying I need to repurchase a new one because I'm just so mad mine just got too much love. So I really need a new one. And there's some other ones, like I want to try like the Nude Mood. I want to try the Taupe palette. I want to try, there's another one. Going Coconuts. Anyway, I can't think of it. But all their little eyeshadow palettes are so cute and I love them. And I definitely need to buy a few from Colourpop. If there's any that you recommend I should buy that are your favorite, please comment below your favorite Colourpop eyeshadow palettes. Alright, next, this is Tarte Tartelette Juicy palette. So Tarte came out with a much smaller version of this palette, and this is a limited edition palette, but I feel like because there's a smaller version, then I'm still going to talk about it. And plus, like, limited edition palettes, I don't know. I feel like YouTubers don't talk about them because you can't buy them, you know, like once they're over. But like, I love limited edition eyeshadow palettes, and it's almost like it's bad because it makes you buy them quicker and faster, and you know, you don't get enough time to think about if you really want it or need it in your collection. But this is a limited edition product, and since they have a smaller palette, I'm going to talk about it. but there's all these beautiful pink shimmers, like this row of neutral like gold tones, and these are like the peachy light pink shades, and then like got a fuchsia shimmer in here, and just like the darker shades, and it's just such a beautiful palette. And these shades, they smell good, they blend good, it's such a good palette. And I know when I came out with some tutorials using this palette, a lot of people loved it. The smaller version of this sells really well. A lot of people like that palette too. And I just think it's so cute, and the packaging, I love it. I don't know what happened to mine. Mine got wet or something. It started breaking up here. But it's this cute little, you know, dandelion. It says Tartelette. It's stunning. It's like a little baby pink metallic. And I just love it. Like, I know when I pack this on trips, I've got like just the perfect mix here. So again, Tartelette Juicy palette. This is a limited edition palette, but they have a smaller version available. I'll have all these palettes linked below, but I think this is a perfect summer palette. I mean, you got everything you need in here, and yes, I love Tartelette Juicy. Sticking with Tarte, I have the Tartelette Full Bloom palette. Again, this is a limited edition product, and this is supposed to be a bigger version of their smaller palette, which is called Full Bloom. Full Bloom is one of the most sold eyeshadow palettes, and look at her. She's stunning. She has perfect, like, this to me is a really good fall palette too. But when I was looking at it, I was like, is this fall or is this summer? It is really good for fall, but something about this area, this pink shimmery area, was like, yes, summer. This is a summer palette. So I love this cooler tone neutral transition shade. Obviously I've hit pan on it, and I really like the shade Optimistic, which is this warmer tone transition shade. So many great shades in this palette. I really like, it's really good, and I have tons of tutorials using it. And this area right here screams summer to me. Again, this is a perfect palette to create a super bronzy, beautiful eye look. And I love this palette. It comes with a huge mirror. The packaging is super cute. And I just feel like, I know if you have tried Tarte Full Bloom palette, you would probably love this. This is a limited edition palette. So if this is no longer available, you can always get the Tarte Full Bloom palette, because it's just like this, but just a smaller version. And I love it. So I think this is a really good summer eyeshadow palette. And last but not least is Bare Necessities by Colourpop. This is a beautiful pink tone, warm, neutral eyeshadow palette. It's gigantic. You get so many eyeshadow options. I loved Colourpop's Ginormous palettes. Like, they are just such good quality, so affordable. I wish I had something like this when I was younger. I love them. And you can tell by all the eyeshadow everywhere how much I love this palette. This is a really, really good fall palette, but there's also, like, it just screams summer as well. We got the purples and the pinks and the beautiful golds and shimmers, and it's just such a good summer palette. And I just love Bare Necessities Colourpop. I have a lot of tutorials using this palette. I like to use old eyeshadow palettes in tutorials. I noticed some other YouTubers like to do that too, and I just love looking on YouTube and seeing older palettes be used again. It's just, you know, it's very realistic to go back and use your eyeshadow palettes. Like, you don't have to keep buying new makeup. That's just something that the industry just feeds us. But it came out a couple years ago, and every time I use it, I'm just like in awe. It's such a good palette. And of course, two really good affordable eyeshadow palettes are the e.l.f. bite-sized palettes. I Love You Latte, which is all matte, and Pumpkin Pie. Pumpkin Pie is really good for fall, but I just love the warm tone bronzy shades in here. I think they're perfect for summer as well. I'm just all about the bronze in the summer. I love it. I live for it. That's just my favorite. And then you have here all the mattes, and these two together are a perfect duo to achieve a really nice bronze summer eyeshadow look. Alright guys, that completes my favorite summer eyeshadow palettes. Please comment below any eyeshadow palettes that are your favorite summer eyeshadow palettes that I need to check out. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video.